shout out before we get started. In lieu of Impact's pay-per-view last weekend, Homecoming, I'll tell you a story about a high school. My old neighbor, he lived about two streets up. I'll remain nameless for whatever reasons, but he actually, it wasn't Homecoming, it was prom. But he rigged, I still to this day, he never admitted how he did it. He just admitted that he did do it because he had no business winning prom king, but he rigged the whole thing so that he could dance with the girl that he was in love with, who made sure that she was prom queen, but the king queen dance. So, nice little memories of that. They didn't end up together, so I guess the question is, is it worth going that far, like just for the memory, or is this stalking in 2021? Like, there's a line now. There was no line back in 1997. I think there's a line now, though. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 65 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, powered, as always, by the Eastern Observer. Oh, you can taste the power. Unfortunately, I made a promise last week that there was a 100% chance that we were going to be live this week, and the weather of New Jersey washed that all away. My softball team is in the championship games. It was supposed to be Wednesday, supposed to be Sunday. Everything got rained out. So the glorious purpose that is burdened upon me will now take place tonight. Beautiful skies in the air. It is over. I will say it again. We will be back 100% next week, live on all of our platforms, on however you watch this. Yes, I know, right? On either Facebook Live, on YouTube. Again, so I just want to bring this to your attention that if you're trying to comment, we won't see it, unfortunately. We are not ignoring you. We love the fact that everybody chimes in. Unfortunately, like I said, burdened with glorious purpose. I love that line from the Loki series. I just got my Loki Blu-rays in. Disney doesn't even sell them. I got a guy in Wisconsin sells Loki on Blu-ray. But we're going to talk some wrestling today. We had a big week last week. SummerSlam is shaping up. With us on the bottom part of our screen, the living legend, John Licani, our first ever PWP champion. How are things?
Not bad, not bad. Beautiful Jersey day. We're talking wrestling. Doesn't get much better than that.
Honestly, it does not. And then up on the top part of the screen next to me, as always, Mike made his cousin, John Smith. It's funny because you see, now that I'm friends with Mike on Facebook, it's amazing. The guy is never not wearing a wrestling t-shirt.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Unless he's got like a movie T-shirt on or a band T-shirt. He's a big hair metal band guy too. But me personally, I've been doing this slow draft for fantasy football dynasty league right now. We're currently in round 12. I'm up in 3 more picks. We've been going since Friday. I'm in fantasy football mode. But let's talk some wrestling.
There you go. Hopefully, you told me it was 4 hours in between picks, right? So I think you're safe to do the show right now until it's your turn.
Well, I mean, it's up to 4 hours. Some guys are picking right away. Some guys are taking a half hour. You know, I usually take about 10, 15 minutes, but I'll put it on pause while we're doing this, just for you.
All right, just make sure. I'll make a nameplate for you. Make sure you can announce it just like you're at the NFL draft. With the 12th round pick, Andre the Giant. John's fantasy football team, I saw your name again, Andre the Giant. Andre lives in fantasy football.
Somehow DeAndre Hopkins slipped to the 5th round in this dynasty league. Like, what are these people, idiots? So I grabbed him in the 5th round. That was nice.
There you go. We've waited on today's show. We've waited long enough. Samoa Joe is cleared. He is an active wrestler, and he will be returning to the ring in 2 weeks. Both championship matches are now official for SummerSlam. Gary Mahefty is back with us to discuss NXT UK and the Tag Team Championship match from this past Thursday. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, and you'll see the graphics are back. We got Ryan Joy back. The graphics and statistics are presented by MinutesToBellTime.com, and of course, our picks are sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. We're going to main event the show with Ryan Joy from MinutesToBellTime.com. He will be coming in to talk with AEW with us and the Fight for the Fallen results. We're going to curtain jerk the show with what the cold open was about. Our new homecoming king and queen, John DeConnie. Like there was ever any doubt that Deonna Purrazzo was just going to bulldoze through this tournament.
As soon as she announced herself for the tournament, it was just pretty much written in the stars. So she went in with a mystery partner. But if you were, reading the rumor mill for the last month or so, once you saw the brackets and there was only room for one mystery male partner, you pretty much knew who that was. They opened the show. Deonna came out and announced her mystery partner, Matthew, the Drama King Rehwoldt, formerly known as Aiden English. He came out, exactly. We got a few bars out of him, which is, of course, all we wanted. And they would go on to face Team Swingers Palace, Alicia Edwards and Hernandez. Rehwoldt would hit a DDT, like a front falling DDT, to get the pin on Hernandez for the first round win. Then the second match was Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. They would face Little Petey Pump and Thick Mama Pump in their full chainmail headgear and everything. Chelsea would hit the unprettier on Jordan for that win. Afterwards, Steve Macklin would come out and lump up Little Petey. That was a callback for him getting involved in Macklin and Trey's no contest on BTI earlier in the week.
If those of you don't know, BTI is before Impact, and it's called Being the Elite.
Exactly. Then we had our third opening round matchup. Rachel Ellering and Tommy Dreamer painted up like the Road Warriors. They would go against Brian Myers and his mystery guest. He had struck out trying to find someone who absolutely hated Tommy as much as he did, and would eventually settle on ECW and all-around wrestling legend Missy Hyatt.
Missy Hyatt.
Who came dressed for the mall in tight jeans and 6-inch spike pumps. So clearly she was not exactly ready to wrestle.
Did Impact miss the boat here? Like, shouldn't have been Sam Beal dressed as a woman as Myers because he couldn't find anybody? Shouldn't have been Sam Beal dressed like he was ready to go to the mall?
Absolutely. We talked about that last week. I don't know if it was in pre-production or in our text chain, but I was almost positive that that's how it was going to play out. But
exactly.
But hey, what do you got?
Nyla Rose.
Missy got a payday. Good for her. She tagged in at one point in the match, took about a half a shuffle step, tagged herself right back out, which got her a "You still got it" chant.
Yeah.
Myers would survive a Spicoli driver and look for a tag later in the match. And at that point, Missy realized she had nothing left to do other than tag back in or completely bail. So she hopped off the ring apron, started walking up the ramp. Myers kind of chased her to the other side of the ring and was kind of up on one of the ropes, kind of lifting himself up, which allowed Tommy to scoop underneath him, get him in the electric chair. And Rachel completed the Doomsday Device, and Ellering and Dreamer would eliminate Myers and Missy Hyatt. Moving on to our fourth tournament opening round match, we had Decay facing Falaba and Tasha. Excuse me, Tasha Steelz. I only had their nickname down here, Fala Flava. So excuse
Fala
me.
and Flava. I fell out of the chair. I was laughing.
Well, it was not a great teaming experience for Tasha, as Fala accidentally hit a corner avalanche on her, and in his dismay at the fact that he damn near killed her, he turned around right into Crazy Steve's second turnbuckle jumping DDT, and Decay would eliminate Fala Flavor. Moving on to the second round, we have Deonna and the Drama King. They would get past Chelsea and Cardona. Once again, Rehwoldt would hit that front-falling DDT. on Matt Cardona for the win. And Decay would get past Rachel and Dreamer. Dreamer hit a pile driver on Rosemary. And he even got Crazy Steve up in the fireman's carry, perhaps looking for the Spicoli driver. But Steve would wiggle out. He would attempt a sunset flip. Dreamer sat down on it, trying for the pin. Crazy Steve kicked out, reversed it into the old Raw roll-up, and Decay would move on to the finals where they would meet Deonna and the Drama King. And this is where, unfortunately, I have to stop bitching and moaning and calling it the Cosa Nostra, because the Queen's Gambit was the finishing maneuver here, and the Queen is now Deonna Purrazzo, the King, the Drama King, Matthew Raywalt.
It was a fun tournament all around. There's a lot of stuff, like I said, the Doomsday Device by Dreamer, who was a close friend of the Animal. He came when Animal passed. Dreamer came out with the makeup on right away, and Rachel Ellering's father managed them, so that was a fun little duo. And then you had Jordan and Petey doing all the stuff, the bicep elbow drop into the push-ups after the false start. There was a lot of fun stuff going on in this tournament. I enjoyed it, and of course, the best team won. And like I said, Deonna, she was on Impact on Thursday. She's getting some MMA training going. She's got a big month ahead of her. She's got title matches galore. So we'll see what is going on with her. Also at Homecoming, we had Eddie Edwards. He was in the main event. He defeated W. Morrissey in a hardcore match after a Boston knee party. Josh Alexander defeated Black Taurus in an amazing match with the C4 to defend to retain the X Division Championship. And an impromptu unscheduled match, not scheduled match, I guess. Diener defeated Willie Mack. I would have got that one wrong. Diener defeated Willie Mack after Eric Young hit Mack with the Violent by Design flag, followed by the Diener DDT. Since that match, I know, John DeConnie, you admitted that you would have had Willie Mack on that match too. But let's just go to the scorecards. And John DeConnie, I wanted you to run through the tournament because you nailed it. It's the whole show, actually. 9-0 for 21 points, the perfect pay-per-view bonus. I had a nice show myself. I only had 2 matches wrong. One of them was main event with Morrissey and Eddie Edwards. Everyone else 6-3, 5-4. Tyler failed to answer the bell again. Let's start making those proctology university rumors. We'll start that smoke up again. We'll give him one more show. See what happens. Overall standings, I surpassed John Smith. I know John DeConnie jumped up a little bit. He's in a rat race with Travis for 4th, but we are still extremely early in. 14 shows deep. I can't remember how many we had last year. John DeConnie said, you nailed it. You had another tick on your belt right there. And I just want to just toot all of our horns right now. Out of the past 7 shows that have been scored on ProWrestlingPick'em.com, one of us has nailed a perfect pay-per-view in 6 of the last 7. John DeConnie got Homecoming. John Smith got night 2 of Fyter Fest. Ryan Joy nailed Fyter Fest night 1 and Money in the Bank, and he was the closest one to Slammiversary. He went 8-1. Slammiversary was the only show that we were missing. Gary nailed Bash at the Beach, or I'm sorry, the Great American Bash. I'm still making that error. And myself, along with Maggie May, she's an intellectual. We got Hell in the Cell correct. So that is where we are going forward. We got about 2 weeks. This weekend we have off in the scoring. Next week we have off in the scoring. There you go. John Gotti polishing up that perfect pay-per-view title right there. Before we get into, we have big wrestling, weekend with Emergence, SummerSlam, TakeOver. It's going to be a lot. But staying last Thursday, staying with Impact, John Smith, the main event, Moose and Chris Sabin. Moose, so that was the one match that Ryan got wrong. That was actually we all got wrong. Too little, too late for me. I picked Sabin again because I'm an idiot. Too little, too late for me. But it looks like this is still going to go forward, though.
Yeah, I'm confused as to why. Like they each got one. It should be over. Moose came out to this match and basically, I mean, they put on a decent match, but he destroyed him and he got him back for that that embarrassing loss at the pay-per-view that he had no business being on the losing end of. But I'm glad that Moose came out and got the victory back. I just don't know why this is going to keep going on. Maybe the other half of Motor City Machine Guns will come back soon and make it a 2-on-1 or something. I forgot his name, but
Alex Shelley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it was an embarrassing loss. Chris Sabin, former Impact World Champion, like that's not. I mean, he beat Bully Ray. Like, let's just go. Sabin's beat guys twice his size, and
Moose is in his prime right now, and he's in the best shape of his life. He had no business losing that match.
That's fair. So Moose went to just done with it. Went to throw Sabin out of the ring, saying this feud's over. Moving forward, Sabin hooked the top rope, came back in. And Sabin started swinging, so I guess to be continued with those two. John DeConnie had a tag team match, a battle of the Bullet Club past versus the Bullet Club present / future.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we had the Good Brothers versus Jay White and Chris Bay. This was really fun, about a 9-minute match. We got personally, this was my first exposure in ring to Jay White. So that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately for them, it ended with that old formula of the Magic Killer on Bay and Carl Anderson getting the cover for the win. And then later backstage, we saw Jay and Bay, discussing things. And Bay said, he was very upset to take an L in his first match in the Bullet Club. And Jay White said, "Whoa, pump the brakes. You're not in Bullet Club just yet. But I've got an idea for how you can redeem yourself." That would play later on into a match. Shall we jump right to that one?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, Gary's throwing out Chris Bay chicken. If he was afraid, I don't know. Gary's still going with the Chris Bay jokes. There was an 8-man tag, John DeConnie, with Finn Juice involved, and I think that's where you're going with this next.
Indeed, yes. We had Finn Juice with Fala and No Way. They would defeat Ace, Fulton, Rohit, and Shiro when Finley would hit the Ushigoroshi on Rohit for the win. And then later backstage, Finn Juice was announcing how they were back and they were looking for the tag team titles. They want to get those belts back when they would be attacked and laid waste by the combo of Jay and Bay, clearly making up for their first loss together as a unit.
Yeah, and that's because I believe Finley. I have it down. I think they called it the Trash Panda was his finisher that he used to win that match. I don't know. I'm not up on my New Japan stuff, but I guess there is a New Japan feud with Chris Bay and Finley over the Never Openweight Championship. Maybe you can talk to Ryan about that a little bit, or he can private chat. But I know that's a feud going overseas that kind of leaked into Impact because God forbid they use their own stories for TV shows. Rich Swann and Willie Mack, they defeated Violent by Design after a stunner by Willie, followed by a 450 splash from Rich Swann on Rhino, which leaked into the Diener versus Willie Mack at Homecoming. Like I said before, Deonna Purrazzo was trading with the Atomweight champion from some MMA company. I did not catch her name. So prepare for her for the upcoming shows in AAA and NWA. Taylor Wilde came back and said we haven't seen her in a while, but she came back in all of her belt looping glory. Those are the biggest belt loops I've ever seen on a wrestling tire. But hey, go for it, Taylor. If that's what you want to do, go for it. She defeated Caleb with a K after a poison rana, followed by a belly to back suplex. Random thought throughout the show, John Smith, I was thinking of you as well. I miss Reno Scum.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Is he doing fantasy right now? No.
What? Oh, what's that?
I was like, I miss Reno Scum. I know they were your boys. I know Thorstone's gone, but anyone have eyes on Luster? Like, we could have some Luster to legend here. Like, it's.
Yeah, I completely forgot about them, actually.
Next Thursday, there will be a number 1 contenders battle royal to challenge Kenny Omega at Emergence, their next Impact Plus pay-per-view. And again, Tommy Dreamer, and he's in charge. He's got no bones about it going up against WWE. This will be on August 21st. We're resuming at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which will bump our SummerSlam special back to noon. We'll get to that later. According to Ryan Joy, Resurgence pay-per-view in Los Angeles on August 14th will be Jay White versus David Finlay. Al is the only one. I don't know what the only one. Forget
That was about you missing Reno Scum.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Eyes on Luster. Anybody? I should bring that up on Monday next time I'm on the Daily Wrestling News Show. Start a rumor about where Luster is. So that will be next Thursday. This Thursday, though, we actually have a number one contenders match for the Impact X Division Championship, where we're gonna have Jake Something, Rohit Raju, Trey Miguel, and they're gonna dust off Daivari and put him on here. So the winner get Josh Alexander. Not sure where, not sure when. John Smith. I don't know. This is a tough one to call. I don't know if this is going to leak into the pay-per-view. I don't know.
This is tough. I'm going to go with Trey because I always pick Trey and he always loses.
All right, there you go. White Fix was not broken, right, John Nagani?
Yeah.
Didn't Daivari leave to go work for WWE like a month ago? When the hell are they taping these things?
I don't know. Is this maybe this is Ari? Because I know Ari is still under his 90-day, right? So it wouldn't be Ari. That has to be Sean, right? That's.
Anyway, give me Jake Something just because, just to be different. Josh, even though it's the X Division, he'll fight larger guys, so that looks like it would be a good match.
I'm with you on that. I don't know why Jake is standing out here to me. I know Sean Daivari. If he's not on the contract, I don't know why he would get the shot. And Trey seems like they're not, he's in that Karrion Kross category, I guess. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Trey. I don't. Yeah, Jake Something, Rohit's. I mean, I still have my graphic. If we're gonna do the defeat Rohit challenge, I'm all about that. I just don't think it's gonna happen again. I'll go Jake Something as well. And then, speaking of the Battle Royal, Sami Callihan is going to be in that Battle Royal next week, but he does not want to wait till the Battle Royal to potentially get his hands on Kenny Omega. Then here comes Frankie Kazarian. Welcome back, former X Division champion, former tag team champion, a guy who made his name in Impact Wrestling back in the old Total Nonstop Action days. Here comes Frankie, the future Kazarian. Hop the barricade to jump to the Elite. Tommy Dreamer potentially had a third member. Sami called BS. He ain't going to do it. But it looks like he's going to do it. He was talking about Eddie Edwards. So we're going to have Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards on the same team. Cats are marrying dogs. Hell is frozen over. A pig just flew over my head. What the hell is going on here, John Licani? Is the Elite this much of a problem?
This is what the setup for this match is actually what helped me get the perfect pay-per-view, because I was all on Morrissey until they started, verbally filleting Eddie Edwards about, you're the hood ornament of the company. You're the man. You are Impact Wrestling. And I was like, oh, Jesus, they can't pump him up just, all that way just to get him into a six-man tag. So, yeah, I think the good guys, not that Sami Callihan is often considered a good guy, I think the Impact guys will take this one. Callihan, Kazarian, Edwards over Kenny and the Good Bros, just to make things fun.
All right, if that happens, I doubt Kenny Omega's going to be pinned, and God knows Doc Gallows isn't getting pinned. So it's like Carl Anderson's going to be looking at the lights again, Sean Smith.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Carl Anderson's just there to take the pin.
That's it.
It just seems like you got to circle back. So my theory, Samoa Joe being the one to come back as a savior, I guess I'll take half credit on that. I was right that he's doing it. It was just the wrong company. But I guess you got to circle back to Eddie Edwards being the savior. I mentioned this last week in a match when Finn Juice was getting jumped at the end of it. It seemed like Matt Striker, the play-by-play announcer, is starting this war. Like, Impact has all these guys coming in, and it seems like, okay, well, Rohit and Ace Austin, they've had enough of it. Look at the Impact guy goes. And I guess Sami's in that category too. But, yeah, I guess, sure, Eddie Edwards with the guy, bound for glory. Eddie Edwards beating Kenny Omega. I guess that's where we got to go with this. And why not? Screw it. So that is Impact. We are going to, I missed the sheet. There we go. That was Impact. We're going to rewind to last Friday night. We're going to switch over to WWE, and then we're going to layeth the smacketh down on your Rudy Poo candy ass. Speaking of The Rock, I guess Jungle Cruise did pretty well, as we talked about on Monday. pretty well in the box office and with Disney Plus. Show started with John Cena yet again to get the crowd amped up for the show. Call Roman Reigns' reasoning for dodging him at SummerSlam stupid. Then here comes Baron Corbin looking for some help. John throws him a couple bucks. Apparently now Corbin's wife left him because of, I guess, the whole foam dart to the nuts incident that from Shotzi's tank the week prior. He is unable to perform. So Corbin's wife left him. I guess Corbin, he's going back to the missionary position. I guess Corbin was pretty good. So Cena threw him a couple bucks. Corbin kind of bitched at it. You know, beggars can't be choosers here, but Corbin decided to complain. That's not enough. Told him he could be in a movie, this, that, and the other. Cena got enough of them, gave him an AA. Needed an attitude adjustment. Fast forward to the contract signing. Finn Balor about to put his name on the contract. Corbin comes out looking for the payday. Corbin, for once, is doing the right thing, not asking for money, but taking initiative, trying to get that main event bank against Roman Reigns. Let alone if he wins the title, he's going to get his money back. And then here comes Selfless John. John Cena, only looking out for himself, takes out Baron Corbin, screws the man who's trying to get his life back together, and then he doesn't even give the contract back to Finn. He signs it himself. What the hell is up with John Cena here? This isn't the John I know. Anyway, so this is going to leak into a match that was booked on SmackDown. It's actually going to be Baron Corbin and Finn Balor. But honestly, these guys, I mean, I think Finn Balor needs to kick Corbin's ass for that. I mean, Corbin, Finn got robbed. But when Finn's done, the two of them just need to team up and just go after Cena and take him out and get their main event championship match back. John Smith, who do you got in this?
Corbin's losing streak's definitely going to continue here.
All right, this is not an updated picture of Baron Corbin. I think if it is, the ketchup stain is covered under the shirt. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I think Balor takes this one easily. Corbin will find some way to step on his own member.
Yeah, what the hell, John Cena? He could have just given the contract back to Finn Balor.
Corbin should have gone through if Corbin had gone through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, then John would have had to bend over backwards for him. But
yeah, there you go. But the point was, I saw on Facebook the other day, just a quick sidebar here. I guess the Peacock, they filmed John Cena signing autograph pictures. He signed 3,000 autographs in an hour and 15 minutes. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Just watching him rip off. He's left-handed, so I'm using my left hander. Just rip off his name, and the guy's pulling the picture back, and he does it again. It was a pretty amazing process. Anyway, so maybe Cena's not that bad of a guy. Seth Rollins attacked Edge from behind on Edge's way to the ring for a promo. Rollins cut one instead, saying if he can't be champ, then neither can Edge. We will talk about that more going into SummerSlam. That is probably going to be booked. John DeConnie, Bianca Belair had her 100-day celebration. The celebration, bitches. It was actually day 110 as they made it out. As SmackDown Women's Champion, it was interrupted by Carmella, who wants another crack at the title. Zelina Vega then came out wanting a shot. Bianca actually said yes to that one. So I guess we're going to have Bianca and Zelina at some point. But Bianca ended up getting jumped, and then here comes the returning Sasha Banks. Sasha's back. Crowd goes nuts. She actually helps Bianca. They hug at the end, and the look on my face was the same as the look on Bianca's face. Like, what the hell is going on right now? Can an F be really that much of a bond where two people can just put away their differences and just celebrate the fact that they made it at the WrestleMania together?
Yeah, they were holding hands above their heads victoriously. They even, did a little dance for us. And then they would be tag team partners. That would main event the evening. Bianca and Sasha would face Carmella and Zelina.
And John, I'm sorry to cut you off. If you remember back in January and February and even March going into these two are not a good tag team together.
No. Every time they tagged together, something very ugly happened. And yet it never really, they never really completely turned on each other. Like they just were kind of awkward together. Well, They weren't necessarily awkward together in this match, though. They played all the hits. They brought us back to to WrestleMania, excuse me, when the match would spill outside and Bianca would gorilla press Sasha, but in a loving way, and walk up 2 of the ring steps and use her as a dart to throw at her opponents, taking them both to the floor with a cross body. And then Sasha eventually, they got back in. This was a sub 9-minute match. Sasha would eventually hit the backstabber, roll into the bank statement on Carmella, and get the submission win. Afterwards, they would celebrate again. They would embrace, and then surprise, mother jumper, backstabber, tornado DDT, bank statement. Ref has to pull Sasha off. That's not good enough. She grabs the title, raises it above her head, and thinks, she hasn't had enough yet. Locks in the bank statement again as the show goes off the air. So I guess we know where this one's headed.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. If you're gonna have 70 whatever thousand at a football stadium, you gotta throw this right back out there again. Considering that she hasn't been around since Mania. But yeah, that wasn't only the swerve for the women's championship. I can't remember again in the next one. Oh no, did something just fall?
Yeah, all my Nintendo 64 boxes just fell down behind me somehow.
Reginald was backstage. Well, now he's known as Reggie. Reggie, I guess, as 24/7 champion, I guess he's got the ability to be on both shows, right? It is a co-branded title, I would think. There's not like a SmackDown version or a Raw version. It's just the WWE. So Reggie was backstage before his match saying his whole life he had his head on a swivel. He was attacked from all angles. He even has a rear view mirror on him on his shopping cart. And then a production guy walks through the curtain behind him, and he didn't even notice.
Took the words right out of my mouth, man. The highlights were him saying that and that happening, and him not being French anymore, apparently.
No, apparently not. That's not.
Yeah, so he's gotten his name shortened, so he's officially a part of the WWE. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. He got his name shortened to Reggie. Next he'll be Reg, and then he'll be R-Truth.
Yes, RG.
R false. Now, so we got him up against. Well, we thought it was Otis at first, but it was Chad Gable, which excited me for a minute. But then they only gave us like a 2-minute match where Reggie was doing his acrobatics. He reversed a top rope German suplex into just landing on his feet and stumbling back into the turnbuckles. And then Otis finally was fed up with everything and came in and interfered and got the disqualification for Chad Gable. And then threw Reggie over the top rope, but Reggie just rolled through and got his title and was gone, doing backflips up the stage.
Gotta have a head on a swivel. I wonder if I honestly want to say if that production guy actually still has a job now from walking into that shot. That couldn't have been the worst promo to cut too. If that was just like a normal, I'm gonna kick his ass, it would have been fine. You look at the guy's face, ooh, as he walked through. Anyway, Rey Mysterio got the win over Jimmy Uso. With the same leverage move. Dominic got his feet up for leverage on Rey. They did the same thing to the Usos that the Usos did to them twice. So I guess the series is now 2-1. I'm sure they will continue on going forward. And then John DeConnie, we had a 6-man tag team match that is looking like we're headed to SummerSlam. Big win here. Big pinfall.
Yeah, we had a 6-man tag. It was Big E, Cesaro, and Kingsgay versus Apollo, Ziggler, and Rude. Ziggler would wind up going for a swing. Aziz would take out Boogs at ringside. Most of the match would spill outside. But towards the end there, we wound up with the Intercontinental Champion, Apollo, in the ring with King Nakamura. Apollo would miss a frog splash, then fail to get the Raw roll-up, and would take a Kinshasa knee-to-face and a clean win for Nakamura on the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. So that's I'm sure all 6 of these guys will wind up in some kind of schmaz for the IC title, but that certainly puts Nakamura at the top of the list.
Yeah, and the one thing, we haven't really mentioned this yet. Nakamura switched from the red to the white. I'm loving picturing Nakamura in the NWO, like with this black and white outfit going. I just think it just looks so badass. I don't know why. Then for like Survivor Series, he would switch to blue if he was representing SmackDown, but he always went back to the red. And now that he's the king, it's the black, and it's like NWO Nakamura. It's absolutely great. So real quick, we're going to just take a quick little 30-second break to hear from Joe Jarzanka and the Primetime Rundown guys, and we'll be back to talk about Monday Night Raw. And then after these messages, we'll be right back.
Thanks, Al. Summer Mondays are back for the Primetime Rundown as myself, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca will be coming to you with the Primetime Rundown right here on the Eastern Observer on Monday nights beginning at 7 p.m. all the way until August 30th. Make sure to join us on the following platforms.
Wow, things are just not going my way right now. Things are just not going my way right now at all. I went to pick up the boxes and my head hit the other boxes and knocked everything else off the wall.
We're going to come back from Gary's segment and your wall's just going to be completely white. Like everything's just going to be down.
I'm hoping I can get everything set back up by the time he's done.
So, all right, there we go. I forget the joke I was going to say, but whatever. Going into about last night on Monday Night Raw, Bobby Lashley started the show. MVP with MVP. MVP spouted out some stuff about Goldberg. Goldberg came out, spouted out some stuff back at a much higher volume. I guess that Goldberg's my kind of guy that's talking extremely loud. Said, "You're next." There's your thing. Walked away. Lashley and MVP started jaw-jacking at Goldberg's kid, who has grown up since the last time we saw him when Goldberg pulled his shirt off and he's got this 10-year-old hasn't hit puberty or the gym yet, pudgy body. This kid looks good. He looks jacked. He grew up. I don't know how old he was or how old he is now, but he shot up. So shout out to, what's his name, Gage Goldberg?
All right.
So that actually was
it for being a weirdo, Al. Stop being a weirdo, all right?
Yeah, okay. I was actually horrified for the kid back then. Going like, dude, like, just why? It's like you don't have to pull off his shirt on TV. Like, relax. Like, I was actually really awkward in that moment. Like, why is he doing that?
That was probably the motivation for him to get all jacked up like he is, because he got made fun of for that.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Or maybe he just looked at himself and just got grossed out. I don't know.
Oh, wait, so that really was.
Yeah, he looks good. So Goldberg came back out. He speared MVP. So later, Lashley then accepted Goldberg's challenge. So that is official. We have Lashley and Goldberg. Goldberg once again going after the one title that has eluded him his entire career. We had this conversation back in January. We are about to have it again, but we will wait to the SummerSlam special to do so. Save it for that. We have the Triple Threat Women's Championship match. That is scheduled for Sunday as well. Part of that match, Rhea Ripley, she defeated Nia Jax with the Royal Roll-Up. Shayna tried to help. It really didn't work out. So Nia and Shayna had it out verbally until Shayna eventually walked away. Then Nia got jumped. And actually, Rhea hit the riptide on Nia. It was impressive. I didn't get up all that high, but still, that's something. So are we seeing the end of Shayna and Nia? Is that be going to SummerSlam? John Smith, any quick comment on that?
All I could say is finally, because like I remember when these two first crossed paths back, probably last summer or whatever, and I was like, I've never been excited about Nia Jax in any way until I thought about her versus Shayna Baszler just beating the crap out of each other, and then they ended up freaking teaming up instead. So I'm hoping that we get a nice, knockdown, drag out, 10-minute at least fight between these two. Hope maybe even like, not falls count anywhere, like no DQ or some sort of, real animosity between these two, because that's what it's all been building up to, I hope.
Good. The other 2/3 of that match with Rhea Ripley, first is Charlotte Flair. She did an in-ring promo empathizing, with Simone Biles. She mentioned Simone Biles' name, and I just put my head down like they can't do this.
Oh, no.
They can't do this. I don't care if it's Charlotte or not. And she avoided it, and she's like, just listen to me for a sec. Twice, she said, just listen to me. So she empathized with Simone Biles with the struggles of being the best, and that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. But and then remind everyone that she's been cashed in on 3 times from the Money in the Bank, and that people who cash in Money in the Bank are cowards. A coward's way to win the title. So Nikki attacked her from behind again with a chair. Kind of cowardly. It's the same thing, right? You just attack her from behind. So Nikki did it anyway. And then later on, they main evented. So John DeConnie, here we go again. Nikki Ash is getting shoved down our throats.
She certainly is, and they would main event the show in a no holds barred match, and they would get mildly extreme. And in fact, it would end kind of ugly when Charlotte missed the spear and put herself through a table, and then Nikki would catch her. Charlotte rolled out after putting herself through the table to kind of get her wits together. Nikki caught her coming back in, had her draped on the ropes a la Randy Orton, but she would instead hit the lights, roll the dice, meet her at the crossroads, whatever you want to call it, but she would get a clean victory out of the whole thing.
Yeah, so now they're tied 1-1 each. I don't know when Rhea's going to start inserting herself into this feud. Maybe next week now it'll be Rhea and Nikki for a series of back-to-back matches heading into SummerSlam. So, yeah, Nikki Ash doing her thing right now. Good for her. Persevering. Drew McIntyre defeated Veer and Don't Break My Heart, my Anky Shanky Heart. After Jinder came in swinging with a chair. It was a 2-on-1 match. Jinder came in swinging with a chair, then all 3 of them grabbed chairs. So Drew grabbed his sword, and that was the end of that. Shout out to Ryan Joy with the joke in pre-production that Drew McIntyre, that's the best, that's probably the most obvious way somebody can blade themselves. In wrestling.
What are they trying to tell us with this though? That it's okay to threaten somebody with a freaking knife or sword? Like, get the hell out of here! Like, I don't agree with him pointing a sword at somebody like he's actually going to run through them with it.
There's intent there. There's intent. I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure that is against the law. I
think Jinder Mahal's going to have something to say about it next week.
Yeah, man. Damian Priest was a complete a-hole on Miz TV, which led to a match versus Morrison. Instead of, he was out there to challenge Sheamus, but he said he wanted to just kick Morrison's ass now. Damian Priest actually beat Morrison with the South of Heaven chokeslam. Priest was immediately attacked by Sheamus, and that attack was thwarted by Ricochet out of nowhere. So now we come back from commercial break. Now we have a tag team match, and then Damian Priest beat John Morrison again, this time with the Reckoning. I guess as John McConney pointed out, that name is now open. So good night for Damian Priest, bad night for America's Most Wanted. So going forward with that, I'm not sure. I mean, we'll talk about it when I put up my projections. Maybe this is now going to be a fatal 4-way for the U.S. title. Not sure where we're going with this. So to be continued. John Smith, one half of the tag team champions, was in action. No signings of AJ Styles. No sightings of Randy Orton again either. No one has eyes on Randy, apparently.
We miss you, Randy.
Take a pour one out for Randy.
Yeah, he's doing the whole kissing up to God thing. So, yeah, we got Omos versus Riddle. Riddle came out like a ball of fire, got swatted down like a fly. Ended up getting thrown all over the place at the beginning, gets thrown over the barricade, almost doesn't make it back in for a 10 count. Omos beats him up a little more. He gets a nice little ball of fire again from Riddle, and then he gets the double choke slam for the easy 1, 2, 3. Couldn't have been more than 3 minutes long, this match.
probably the most intimidating thing about that match is when Riddle, I think it was the second time the referee, Riddle had to try to get back into the ring to make the 10 count, and Omos was just staring down the referee. And I don't know why he was just one, like Heyman on Roman Reigns. It was like Omos was just drilling a hole with his eyes through this referee, watching him count to 10. It was really weird, but future world champion, I called it last week, Omos. Speaking of future champions, Eva Marie and company Doudrop to the ring, but they lost to Tamina. Tamina defeated Doudrop with a Samoan drop. There you go. Alexa Bliss came out on the Titantron to announce Eva Marie as the loser, which is complete blasphemy because Eva Marie wasn't in the match. How do you lose the match? She wasn't even in it. Doudrop then attacked Alexa Bliss later on Alexa's playground. Lily got thrown to the ground. But then here we go, Lily ripping off El Phantasmo, who's ripping off The Undertaker. This is the first time we've had a three-way rip-off here. Lily sat up. Lily sat up, so there we go. She's. Do we get the tag team match? You're going to see the potentials. They have Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. God knows even knows if that's going to happen. But can we get a tag team match between Alexa Bliss and Lily versus Doudrop and Eva Marie? Is that the end of this game? Is that like the end goal of this feud? They're going to be tag champions? There's a lot to unpack here with this doll here, so I don't want to call her a doll. And as what Gary said in the private chat, John, did you do something to Lily? Those boxes?
Yeah, I guess I'm one of the first EWP victim of the Lily Illusion.
The Lily Illusion, yeah. John Smith, good news for Karrion Kross. He got his hourglass back. And I do believe, ironically enough, it was Keith Lee that broke that hourglass about a year ago, right when Karrion Kross debuted. That hourglass didn't last long the first time around.
Yes, this is true. So he's got the hourglass. Now all he needs is his woman and his
other hourglass.
Yes, the more important hourglass, and he needs his entrance back, with the full entrance, that is. But yeah, we got Lee versus Cross again. I don't know why we needed to see it again, but I guess because Lee got choked out last week, they wanted to give him one back. But this was the first loss that Cross has had that was like legit. The Raw roll up with Jeff Hardy's feet on the ropes doesn't really count in my book. But the champ to just the NXT champ to lose like this, I don't like it, man. Like they're castrating him before they even take that belt off him and bring him up onto the main roster. I don't understand what's going on here.
And it is confirmed. I think he is a main roster guy. I did see an article. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But no NXT superstars were backstage on Monday Night Raw last night. And if Karrion Kross was there, he is not considered an NXT superstar in Vince McMahon's eyes. So I think we got to get used to seeing Karrion for the time being, for at least for the next month, right? Because the rumors go around draft at the end of the month. So we'll see where Karrion Kross lands.
Congratulations, Samoa Joe.
Yep. And then Mason T-Bar. They got the win over a hometown favorite, Mustafa Ali, Pop of the Night, Mustafa Ali. And his new tag team partner, Mansoor, John DeConnie. Retribution's music is pretty catchy. I still like Retribution's music.
Yeah. Ali went to climb, to hit some kind of top rope maneuver. T-Bar kicked Mansoor into the ropes, which knocked Ali down. Then T-Bar was able to hit I guess you would call it a discus running boot to the face on Mansoor for the win. And then afterwards, Ali got in Mansoor's face, but he, I guess, kind of felt Retribution, kind of breathing down his neck. He realized that he was in trouble, and, it was kind of in between. Ali's kind of a dick, so he kind of shoved Mansoor out of the way, but really he was saving his ass because they would then Retribution would hit Blind Justice on Ali, and Mansoor essentially unscathed in the after, blah.
Yeah, they're still pissed Ali for Retribution, and it's just that's gonna happen in the Royal Rumble too. It's gonna be like not even for the next 3 Royal Rumbles, those two guys are standing behind Ali, and Ali's gonna be like, damn it, still. All right, fine. Eventually, it's gonna come to the point where Ali's gonna put their hands on his throat for them. Just do it. Just get it over with. And then Reggie again, probably We have a fighting champion here, guys. Like, who would have thought Reggie Reggie equals fighting champion and successful at it? He got another win with the flipping earthquake or whatever we're calling it, the flipping balls to the face or whatever we were calling it in pre-production. He got the win over Akira Tozawa. Even Tozawa couldn't catch him. Tozawa's one of the fastest, quickest guys on the roster. Even Tozawa couldn't catch him. So Reggie getting it done. So here we have going into SummerSlam. We have 3 matches officially booked. We got Goldberg and Lashley. We got Nikki, Rhea, and Charlotte. And then we got Roman and Cena on the SmackDown side. I put up Ricochet and Morrison along with Priest and Sheamus. Who knows where that's going? Drew and Jinder. Let's just hope it's just a one-on-one match with rules. We don't need swords flying around everywhere. Alexa and Eva Marie, the tag team championships. Styles maybe just took the week off. That's fine. Somebody's got to get eyes on Randy Orton. Let him know that Riddle's getting his ass kicked on a weekly basis here. Natalya had successful ankle surgery, from what I've been hearing, and what Ryan Joy and I discussed on Monday morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show. They will not be vacating the tag team championships. So Tamina's going to fly solo for the time being, and then when Natalya's back, they got Tegan and Shotzi up next. They won that number 1 contenders match, or I guess champions contenders match, whatever you want to call it, whatever AEW doesn't call it, and Vince now does. The 6-way Intercontinental title match, that'd be a lot of fun. I hope all 6 guys will be in that. Bianca and Sasha and Edge and Rollins, those are pretty much gimmies for the moment. So, John DeConnie, anything real quick SummerSlam related?
No, just interested to see exactly how that Intercontinental match shakes out. Do they do a ladder match? Is it just a 4 corners match, some kind of elimination match? It'd be interesting to see how that actually comes to fruition.
John Smith, anything SummerSlam related before we get out of here? Before we give you a break?
As long as Goldberg doesn't win that title, man, that's all I care about.
All right, it's to be discussed, I guess. Unfortunately, like I don't know what they're doing with this. So, gentlemen, we will bid you adieu for the time being, and we are going to fill up the screen with a whole bunch of handsome and a nice little, I don't want to say romantic scenery, but we got a different view of Garrett. There you go. Look out, ladies. Garrett, we have the top of the evening to you, my laddie.
Yeah, evening. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, hopefully my picture doesn't fall off the back wall like all the John stuff did, so hopefully we'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm John Smith. I think he had something to say about Lily in pre-production. I don't think you were around for that, so only just keep Lily's name out of your mouth. I think we're going to be good to go.
All being well.
We had a tag team championship match. Was that? Oh, that was from last week. That was 2 weeks ago. My bad. Mustache Mountain. I never changed my headlines from the week prior. Copy and paste.
I was wondering. I was like,
got the job done against Symbiosis. Eddie Dennis tried and tried and tried.
Well, it wasn't to be. Yeah, I mean, it really was. It went like we hoped, or like I'd said, that I hoped that Mustache Mountain were going to take it. It was good, hard-hitting match. One moment that did scare me, when the time that Tyler Bate came off the ropes and Tyson T-Bone caught him and gave him, whether it was a German suplex or a belly to back, whatever, overhead, whatever way you want to call it. And I was worried that Tyler wasn't going to get over because he flipped as well, but he got there. But there's a lot of stuff. We had the Tyler Driver in 97 being hit and broken up or whatever, and then we came through to the finish where obviously they had the Burning Hammer and with the knee drop fall on, I'm nearly going to say T-Bone, it was on Primate who was pinned to get them. And then afterwards, obviously, we had Pretty Deadly coming out, foreshadowing where we thought they might go next. Coming out, which what the WWE Twitter handle or Twitter stream is calling a dream match, apparently. Pretty Deadly against Mustache Mountain. So yeah.
Sure, I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong.
I could see it. I could have seen it.
If Pretty Deadly in my dreams, but that's just.
If Pretty Deadly had called it a dreamy match, I could have seen that working or whatever, like instead of dream match. But still, but no, I mean it was a good match between them, and I'm looking forward to where it's going afterwards. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the logical place next to go. As long as Trent and Tyler are together right now, and we're used to seeing them together, might as well at least give them give the notch on Pretty Deadly's belt. I can't imagine. But then again, Mustache Mountain, they have never had those titles. They've had the stateside NXT championships, but they've never had the UK. So
I mean, it's like Ryan was asking, obviously in pre-production when I jumped in, he was talking about when maybe an NXT UK takeover would happen. And that's the sort of match that you could see if things are starting to open up a wee bit here as far as wrestling shows and so on. If they manage to hold that off, even for a month or two, say September, maybe early October, doing that in front of fans, doing the title change if they do it with Mustache Mountain would be great. I don't know that they'll hold off that long. It might well just be TV, but.
Or if you do the swerve in front of fans, like I said, we're waiting on this too. This is like the next okay, we started Sasha and Bailey, and then it was Hangman and Omega. They're like, okay, like where's the next big split up? And it's Trent and Tyler. We've been waiting a long time for it, Yeah.
True, very true.
Until Satomura walked into the women's locker room, everybody was fully dressed, which made me mad or sad. It's both, but everyone's like, what was man? But Mako said she wants someone to step up, just like Amal did, and that caused a ruckus because everybody wants a shot. And then Miko smiled and she exited. So she just threw a live grenade into that locker room.
Yeah.
And it got the job done. And that's what Miko. I think everyone's gonna get their shot at Miko. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. And I honestly think having her about is going to be so good for the women's dressing room as well. Having her to help train some of them and look at some as well, like backstage or whatever. So it'll be great. And
it seemed to be the women's, other than the main event, the women kind of stole the show because we had that, quote unquote grenade in the locker room. We had two women's matches to talk about. Stevie Turner, Max Moon's daughter, I believe we discussed that. She defeated Aaliyah James with the rope-assisted flatliner, ripping off Liv Morgan, Jersey Girl. And then Jinny and Effie Valkyrie. This is the one, holy crap. This is a huge win for Jinny. And you know what, Garrett? I'm going to play analyst here. This is all Effie Valkyrie's fault. She fell for every single one of Joseph Connor's distractions. You can't do that and be successful in pro wrestling.
No, it's interesting they're going because Aoife's actually only, as far as I'm aware, I think she lost twice. She lost to Mako Satomura.
Yeah.
And obviously, and then this one. And you're going, as you say, there were all the stuff that was going on with Joseph Connors, all the outside interference, all the things he was doing. As you say, she went for it. And then we had Jenny beat her in the end, which at least that the fan in me was going, storyline wise, I was going, okay, as you say, kind of falling for it. So whether you then go some sort of, do we have a mixed tag match? Do you go, does he interfere again on something and she gets a male partner to come out? I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. And I was surprised, and it's the only time I've been right in a long time, for the Stevie Turner and Aaliyah James match. When Stevie Turner came out, I went, has she turned heel? Is she meant to be back? Because all of a sudden, I thought, is she? And then when the match started, I went, oh, she is. I said, well, that's good. It makes
when she was walking the aisle, there was booze piped in.
Yeah, although I didn't hear any 16-time world champion piped in, like there was on Raw, obviously, when Drew was coming out, but however. But as you say, there's so much emphasis on the women's division in NXT UK. It's great to see it. So.
Yeah, so now I don't know if Effie Valkyrie is going to return to the woods. She lost to Miko. She was gone for a couple of weeks. If she goes back to that wooded or whatever that training thing that she likes to do, she needs to bring some type of electronics with her because she needs to watch videotape of how not to fall for distractions.
Yeah.
She can train all she wants. She's great, but she needs to mentally be better at that. We had a small training segment with Bomber Dave Massive and Jack Stars working as a tag team. So that's going to happen at some point. And we talked about that last week. We're going to talk about it again going forward. But we're going to get the match that we've been waiting for. The show started with Jordan Devlin defeating In Action with the Devlin side. Post-match, Jordan Devlin had to talk some smack about A-Kid, in which A-Kid comes out on crutches. But he didn't need him, the oldest trick in the book. And then this is what we're going for. He's medically cleared. We're going for the Iron Man match. And before we get into it, Garrett, again, bold statement. I'm picking Devlin in this, but a guy after my own heart, Jordan Devlin, rocking the turtleneck going into the ring with the crutches. Absolutely incredible.
Or A-Kid with the turtleneck, sorry.
A-Kid with the turtleneck.
Yeah, funny. That's the first thing I thought when I saw him coming out with the turtleneck. Actually, it's the truth. I actually sat and laughed and went, I bet you I'll say it. No, I'm really looking forward to. I hope that it ends maybe like 1-1 and it goes into 5 minutes sudden death, or it ends 2-1. I hope it's not like 6-5 or something like that in 30 minutes. And I don't think it will be just so bad, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I have to say, I'm picking Devlin as well. I really do think that it would be a big win for A-Kid to beat him, but I think that Devlin's going to be getting quite the push very shortly, and so I would say he'll take it as well. But it's going to be an outstanding match. Honestly, if anybody who's listened to this, if you've never seen a lot of NXT UK, tune in next week for that match because it's going to be outstanding.
The first time around, I believe they changed the O Webster's dictionary, the Irish dictionary, to clinic, and there's a picture of those. Now here's the thing: I'm going Devlin. I'm not picking against Jordan Devlin. It's a hard pick, but my mind is telling me A-Kid has these Heritage Cup matches, all of these multiple pinfall matches where you can lose one, still come back and win. He's already trained for this. Not for 30 minutes. I think the most he went with, was 18.
Yeah.
I think the final, when he won the cup, he won the overtime, but with breaks in between, though. So it's a little bit longer match, but he's used to these multiple full matches. So I'll give A-Kid a strategic, advantage on paper.
Yeah.
But,
and that's actually the sort of thing storyline-wise that you could see coming up in commentary from Andy Shepherd or Nigel McGuinness kind of mentioning that as the match goes on. It's the sort of thing you could see Nigel coming up saying, do you know what, he's been used to this, he's got the stamina for this. So that's a very good call.
It's my good idea for the day.
You're not just a pretty face.
You're right. These glasses aren't just for show. Gary, thank you so much for coming in. Like I said, we pre-taped this. I believe the sun is still shining.
It is.
I appreciate the intimate was the word I was looking for before, the intimate setting. We hope to see you here again. Anything SummerSlam related you want to talk about? I said, I know your WWE guys. Anything you're looking forward to that you just want to throw out there?
And one thing that does concern me, and it's the opposite side of what John was saying. I do think we could see Big Bad Bill just to say he's had it, something taking the belt. We could hear a big Goldberg.
Yeah,
I'm
so torn in that match.
Yeah.
So if it was WrestleMania, Lashley, no worries. But the fact that this is a mid-year, I am just so torn with this. I'm not going to make my call. Probably, I'll probably be sitting here like this, banging the pen on my head in the special. Make a decision, but I just don't know. So, Gary, thank you again as always. We will see you next week talking about a doozy. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, see you then.
All right, so we're going to bring John Smith back on. John, everything in order? Anything else fall down? Oh, that's Ryan. My bad.
Everything's back up where it should be. I arranged it a little differently, so hopefully they won't fall this time. Oh, I am up next in my draft right now. I got Ryan Fitzpatrick all queued up right now.
Don't you already have I saw 3 quarterbacks on your team already, right?
Yes, but just in case Taysom Hill actually ends up not starting and it's Jameis Winston, I need to. Plus, it's a 2-quarterback league, so quarterbacks are just worth a lot more. We're in the 12th round. We're the 12th round right now, and Fitz is basically the only worthwhile guy that you could start and get some points from. So.
Oh yeah, he throws for 500 yards a game.
Unfortunately, it's -4 per interception in this league, though, which is probably why he's still on the board.
Yeah. All right, so switching from the UK version of NXT to the stateside version, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have waited long enough. Samoa Joe started the show, came out, there was a table, he brought out Commissioner Regal. He's like, I need you for 3 things. 1, here's my official resignation to NXT management. 2, here is a contract. I am medically cleared. I want to be on the active roster. And 3, here is the main event contract against Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship at NXT 36. A lot better plan than what Regal wanted to do. Regal wanted to fire him on the spot for making Karrion Kross making Regal choking him out the week prior. So instead, we're going to get that. Maybe now with this new thing with Karrion Kross running around on the red brand, that maybe there's a loser leaves town stipulation. You can do something like that now, right? Like that's really. But we will get into that in a couple weeks as we get on the road to NXT Takeover 36. But that wasn't even the biggest news of the night. Dakota, MF, and Kai. Yes! I never jumped. I just scared my cat too. I never jumped out of my chair. You saw it coming a mile away. She went on the turnbuckle. I'm like, she is going to eat a boot when she hops off. And that's what she's done. Get excited, get it done, Dakota, and the crowd popped for that. That was supposed to be a heel tactic. That was Shawn Michaels throwing Marty through the barbershop window, and the crowd erupted, chanting, banging on the glass, Dakota, Dakota. So get excited. We're looking forward to 2 new champions at NXT TakeOver 36. But just, yes? Did somebody say something? No? Cool. John Smith, Adam Cole. He was called out multiple times by Bronson Reed, and they main evented the show.
Yeah, and Adam Cole is nobody's rebound. Okay, you don't try to get back on track by picking a fight with Adam Cole because you're not going to win. Yeah, I mean this definite size advantage for Bronson Reed. Probably is literally double his weight. Got probably 5-6 inches on him also. But, this was a nice knockdown, drag out, number one contenders feeling quality type of match where, you saw Bronson Reed can actually go with a main event quality guy. He didn't get the job done. You saw what he could do, though. He took that Panama Sunrise. That looked pretty fluid, especially for a guy his size. So, Adam Cole ends up with the victory, but no skin off Bronson Reed's back. But it might end up going a little further than this, I think.
But wait, there's more because Kyle O'Reilly came out post-match and did that suplex thing onto the staircase to Adam Cole that Cole did to him. They're tied 1-1 right now, right? That's the series at 1-1, so you might as well just close it off at NXT 36, TakeOver 36. Now rumors of Adam Cole's contract being up at the end of the month. He signed an extension just to do this. I'm hoping it's a Brock Lesnar situation where everybody was banking on Roman Reigns to beat him because Lesnar's contract was up. And then, oh, no, wait a minute. Brock signed the day before. He's staying. He just won, and he's still champion. So I'm kind of hoping that's where they're going with this. So I don't think this is an easy layup pick for just saying, Kyle O'Reilly because Cole's leaving. Because we don't know if Cole's going anywhere. And if Hunter's smart, he's going to throw the money at him to keep him. So, John DeConnie with an amazing tag team match as well. And you know what? Not that I'm a big fan of the guy that returned, but I saw the injury as it happened. I'm like, crap. Like, I thought this was like an Alex Smith situation where he might not be walking again. And all of a sudden, what has it been, like 6-7 months later?
Yeah. It was quite a surprise. We had Dunn and Lorcan versus Ciampa and Thatcher. And they just, tore the place down for about 12, 13 minutes until late in the match. Thatcher was outside at ringside, and Ridge Holland would return and absolutely erase him with a lariat at ringside. That would leave Ciampa in the ring, and Dunn would hit the bitter end for the win. But that's not where it ended because Dunn and Lorcan would hold Ciampa down and make him watch as Holland just beat the ever-living hell out of Thatcher back and forth, ragdolled him around the ring, and then finished off the festivities with a headbutt for Ciampa himself. And then later on, as we watched them leave, the camera, they don't have a male backstage interviewer, but the cameraman was asking some questions a couple times throughout the evening. And he asked Ridge Holland on his way out, why did you attack Thatcher? And Holland replies, none of your business. Not the first person I've smashed up, and it won't be the last. So he's back in a big way. So that triumvirate right there is looking pretty imposing.
And it's going to be even better when Danny Burch gets back. So once the governor's involved as well, that's going to be a force on the record. That's a great team for War Games. How long? When's War Games? We got like 3-4 months now. Like let's start petting now that there's no undisputed era. So it's undisputed era versus somebody. Okay, so that they're done. Now we have this other foursome, but we also have Legato. We also have Hit Row. Like what they did with the first one, the 3 teams of 3. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So to be continued with that, we have a long ways to go before we get to War Games. So
Yes, indeed.
Cameron Grimes' cowboy boots on that golf course were absolutely incredible. That whole series of events with LA Knight, Cameron Grimes being his caddy, making him wash LA Knight's balls for 30 minutes. Golf balls, excuse me. Sorry, I forgot a word there. With the little washer. Long story short, they were betting money, whatever. Cameron Grimes ends up winning. I think it ends up being like a $20,000 bet against grizzled young veterans of all teams. That came in with a golf cart and their scarf was on the golf cart. That was pretty funny. Cameron Grimes hit a hole-in-one while also hitting LA Knight in the balls with his backswing and then in the head with his follow-through. So 3 for the price of 1 from Cameron Grimes as that just keeps on going. And it's been absolutely gold. I Spy a Jersey Girl, again, Casey Catanzaro getting it done with Caden Cartner. They defeated Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet's finally in the L column here. And Jessica Kamea after Robert Stone threw in a purse to try to help Frankie, which ended up causing a distraction, leading to that 450 net breaker combo from Casey and Caden for the win. So Frankie Monet, she scares me when she makes that face. I can't imagine Morrison doing something wrong to the point where she actually it scared the hell out of me. I don't know how Morrison deals with the face alone, but just scared the crap out of me. To each their own, but she just was not happy with Robert Stone, and that looks like it's coming to a screeching halt. Maybe one more Comic Larife thing, maybe tonight or next week, and then it's Robert Stone's going to get his ass kicked by Frankie Monet.
I look forward to that match between those two.
Yes. Zoe Stark is looking for a girls' night out with Io Shirai to strengthen their bond as NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Io eventually agreed, so I guess that means they're going to go braid each other's hair and talk about boys or something like that. I'm not really sure what girls do to bond anymore. I've seen videos, but I don't think that's correct.
Cool.
Mandy Rose was spotted. Speaking of fun videos, Mandy Rose was spotted backstage talking with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Gigi, I know JC not too familiar with, but it looks like maybe she's trying to form a little female faction of her own. Maybe Absolution 2.0. Maybe.
Could be.
Hope not.
And then we had the breakout tournament. We had the third first round match where Carmelo Hayes beat Josh the Gigs Briggs with a scissor kick off the top rope. Ifa Valkyrie to advance to the breakout tournament. He's going to take on Duke Hudson, who's doing commentary during the match in the semifinals in a couple of weeks. So we're going into NXT tonight. We have the final first round match. It is going to be Joe Gacy versus Trey Baxter. Joe, not too familiar with. Trey Baxter used to have another name and actually wrestled in a Super X tournament earlier this year for Impact Wrestling. Blake Christian was his name, John Acani. You're nodding your head. So you're going to give Trey Baxter, he's tournament proven.
Yeah, he's tournament proven. He's a heck of a high flyer. I would be surprised. Obviously, I don't know anything about Joe Gacy, but I would be very surprised if he did not go over here, Mr. Baxter.
All right. John Smith.
Yeah, another coin flip. You know, give me Gacy. It could go either way. These things, like these breakout tournaments, they're so hard to pick. They're literally like you don't have any info. You know, there's no angles. You don't know who they're trying to push. It's like this is where you find out who they're trying to push. You know.
Yeah. Stormy's telling me right now, it's my cat Stormy. He's telling me he's going with Trey Baxter. He has a cousin, a dog named Baxter, so he'll go with that pick. My sister's dog. Hit Row did a backstage promo, talked some smack about Legado del Fantasma, as well as Imperium, who were their opponents that night. Big story here. Same as who was I just talking about? Same as A-Kid. I was just talking about the last segment, all right? Ashante the Adonis full-blown turtleneck in July in Florida. That is a bold statement. I like it. Didn't really work out too well for them, as they actually didn't get the win over Imperium. They lost by after interference by Legado del Fantasma, leading into the European elbow drop powerbomb combo for the win. So it looks like Imperium's going to be the one that's going to be probably going up against MSK at TakeOver at some point too for the tag titles. But we're going to get a little bit more of Legado del Fantasma and Hit Row. Hit Row. John Smith, who do you got?
Give me Hit Row. I see Legado losing at every step of the way until Santos takes that title off of Swerve.
All right, John McConaughey.
I have to agree with that. Give me Hit Row.
Okay, then we got the next big money match for Diamond Mine. They had a sit-down interview with Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett's doing a lot of sit-down interviews. Actually doing a pretty good job as an interviewer. Roderick Strong wants to take out Bobby Fish. Undisputed battle is correct. So we have Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly on one side. We got Roddy Strong and Bobby Fish on the other. John DeConnie, what are you thinking here?
I think Roddy Strong gets it done, maybe because he's got some seconds and thirds at ringside, maybe some heel tactics going on here.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do with Bobby Fish here. I feel Bobby's going to put him over, but like, what does Bobby? You can't beat him, join him here. I know he's Kushida Fish is a great tag team, but he's cruiserweight champion at the time. I don't know what we're going to do. I got Roddy as well though, John Smith.
Yeah, give me Roddy. I'd like to see go like Roddy versus Kushida at the pay-per-view, and then Bobby Fish joins the Diamond Mine to help him beat Kushida and win that title or something. Maybe.
I like that. And then the way they were worried, or I guess a better way of putting it, placing blame on each other for what happened with Austin Theory running away from home. It was interrupted by a gift for Indy, which was a drawing of Dexter in the way, which almost made Johnny throw up. Papa John was not happy, so Indy had a proposal, for lack of a better term. I actually wrote it down, love her or leave her, but I guess they're going to call it a love her or loser match. So if Dexter Lumis beats Johnny Gargano, then Dexter gets to date Indy. If Johnny wins, then the whole thing is over. The Way can move on with their lives without Dexter Lumis in it, and they can resume searching for Austin Theory. I'm assuming. John Smith as our resident Dexter Lumis aficionado.
I would have loved to have seen this at the pay-per-view, because then we could have gotten the pay-per-view like Dexter and Indy finally kiss moment on pay-per-view. I don't feel like that's going to happen on random NXT show during the middle of August. So give me Johnny somehow.
All right. John DeConnie, I can't help but reminisce of SummerSlam. I believe it was 1999 with Test versus Shane McMahon. The first little lover or leaver match, or lover or loser, or whatever it was called. Where Test fought his heart out for his girlfriend, Stephanie McMahon, only to have that come crashing down 4 months later.
Yeah, poor bastard.
Right.
In this match, give me Dexter, because there's just, this is going to get me in trouble when we get to a takeover. But as long as there's no points on the line, I'll be damned if they're going to do away with the amount of comedy that could come from Dexter Lumis dating Indy.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on, because that doesn't mean Indy's leaving the way. She's got, it's just that Dexter is going to be around Johnny all the time, just staring at him.
I am not ready for the Way to break up. I was already heartbroken at the idea of Theory running away. The Way cannot end.
No, not ever. As Vin Diesel would say, family. Yeah, I remember that was the first. I think that was Shane McMahon's first match. Was Test at SummerSlam in the Lover or Leaver. It was a Greenwich Street fight. I remember I missed the match. I remember I was watching it on Friends. I was like, I don't need to see. What is Shane gonna do? Wow, was I wrong? I came back and all their jaws were on the ground. Like, dude, you missed the most amazing thing we've ever seen. So it's got out. So all right, so that will do it for NXT. I I think it's a fun way. It's kind of fun in general. We're gonna start. We started the show with Homecoming. We're gonna end the show. Jesus, Ryan. With Brian Joy, number 57, I believe, of the Dark Order. There we go. With AEW's version of Homecoming, we're gonna end with. Was I right? 57. That was the.
I want to say 53, but maybe it was 57. AEW's Homecoming is next week, yeah. So or tomorrow. So
Tomorrow, yeah. So we started with Impact Homecoming. We're ending with AEW. But before we get to Homecoming, we are going to recap Fight for the Fallen, a nice charity event that they do every year. They usually have these nice, just straight up house show like wrestling matches. Nothing ever crazy, right? The show started with how I thought it was going to main event. We all kind of had this happy moment in our head of Adam Page getting one over on Kenny Omega, getting his title shot, and going on to, we assume, All Out in Chicago. Ryan?
there's like 12 news stories in this match.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, the Elite comes out to the ring dressed in all their Space Jam glory. Hangman Page and the Dark Order have sort of this Dark Order cowboy montage stuff to their gear. So the gear in itself is one story. The second story is Doc Gallows was eliminated from this match, but he didn't take a pin again because that's what he does.
That's his Doc does
Third
not take
thing.
pins.
The second countout in AEW Dynamite history happened in this match. So that's how Gallows got out along with Stu Grayson. So both those guys being protected here. Everybody else take a pin. And then also, it takes more than an AEW World Title belt across the head. Maybe an N64 controller box would work better. To take out Hangman Adam Page. No, it takes 2 V-triggers and a one-winged angel from Kenny Omega. And, of course, nobody kicks out of the one-winged angel. Adam Page gets pinned by Kenny Omega. So all of us thought Adam Page would go in, but that's the news story. Adam Page gets no world title match, and the Dark Order gets no tag title matches. So they might as well just take a break. Just go off television altogether. I don't know what they'd be fighting for. I mean, I guess Page could wrestle for the TNT Championship if he wanted, but the Dark Order, they're all tag titles. They're all tag title people, so they should just take a break.
If Miro has that belt, I'm staying as far away from that belt as possible.
He is God's favorite champion.
He is. Well, yeah, we'll get to Miro in a bit. But yeah, so, and then coupled with that, we had Tony Khan's big announcement relayed to us by Tony Schiavone. Rampage will be in Chicago on
August 20th.
August 20th, the day before SummerSlam. And the show is going to be called First Dance. Here comes Darby Allin talking about wanting to fight the best in the world. I already used my Shane McMahon joke for the day, or I used it yesterday. This is not Shane McMahon, even though he rightfully earned that title a couple years ago. Is this just leading to CM Punk and Kenny Omega at All Out? I know you have other theories, right? You're going to give it to my guy. I'm not going to complain about that. Give it to him up there. But I got a funny feeling that, CM Punk's going to be sitting Indian style crying like a 5-year-old on the top of the ramp if he doesn't get this match.
I think he would be a 5-year-old if he cries about not getting the match after walking in the company and then 2 weeks later expecting to be in the main event of their big pay-per-view.
Hey, that's just what Punk does. That's what you're dealing with here.
Well,
we're all just making assumptions. And Ryan, Joy, you reported all week in the Daily Wrestling News Show. Do we have the official clock on how long it took for that show on Rampage, the First Dance at the United Center, not some little bingo hall that normally they're not the little convention centers that AE normally does. This is the home of the Chicago Blackhawks and the Chicago Bulls and the biggest arena in Chicago.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's the biggest. Yeah, and it's the biggest NHL and NBA by capacity building in the country. So do I have the official time? No, but it's, with these sellouts these days, and I don't know if this is the way it always is, but they sold 12,000 tickets in advance. So, in the pre-sale. So when the actual on sale goes, if it's 5 minutes or something like that, it's 5 minutes, but they had already sold 12,000 tickets. So, I give them
bunch of numbers. I heard Tony Khan buys the ones that don't sell out, right?
That's what the haters say. But it was that day, and I think that's what's important enough. They didn't have to go 2 days or anything. Did you start that rumor? Is that what happened? I know you like to start on.
That never crossed my mind. I did not. That one was not reported by Pro Wrestling.
You wish you thought of it.
I do. I wish I thought of it. Lance Archer defeated Hikuleo after a blackout to retain his newly won IWGP United States Championship. So, unfortunately, the streak is over. We do not have any IWGP titles coming up this week. We're going back to the old-fashioned AEW TNT title. We'll get to Miro in a second. I felt Miro wasn't having enough love lately. Apparently, he was on vacation with his wife. Oh, there you go. There's John.
Sorry.
So that's why he's been off TV. So I take back what I said. But it looks like Hiroshi Tanahashi, he wants the next U.S. title shot. But then Jon Moxley shot a promo at the end against Tanahashi. So, Ryan, again, we have a lot of New Japan stuff going on here. And this isn't their show. Again, they're just living rent-free on our TVs.
It feels like they might get Tanahashi for All Out, maybe, against Moxley. That would be my guess.
Okay. John DeConnie, a tag team match we've all been waiting for. Probably the two best teams in AEW, not named Bear Country and Jurassic Express. Or the Wingmen. Sorry, that's even a funnier joke. The Wingmen. FTR, Santana Ortiz, they finally got at it.
Yeah, and this obviously we're going to see this again because there was an unfortunate incident in the match where I believe Cash got cut on the turnbuckle. It made them go home early. It still was a 10-minute match, and it still was quite entertaining, even though half of it took place, I believe, in picture-in-picture. But FTR would eventually get the win when Dax hit the brainbuster on Ortiz. But as I said, because of the injury, this match was cut short, definitely from what they wanted to do. So hopefully we will see this again, and perhaps even multiple times. Because I mean, come on, this is tag team wrestling at its best.
Yeah, you can't get any better than these two. I mean, you can, but it's all argument. But this is one of the top pairings. If you're taking every company and you're having a tag team, like a 5-match tag team pay-per-view, like tag teams only, this is probably like the match before the main event. Like this is good. Ricky Starks, he came out, shot a promo, said he could forgive Brian Cage for a lot of things, but he couldn't forgive Brian Cage for was not checking up on him when he broke his neck. So this whole thing is that Ricky Starks is butthurt that Brian Cage was busy defending the FTW title and doing everything and not checking up on him. Brian Cage eventually came out and then chased Ricky Starks away, so to be continued with that. Britt Baker is looking for a little more help so she can stop getting hurt, referencing the broken wrist she sustained against Nyla Rose in their match a couple of weeks ago. So do you think maybe she's going to get more help, more partners that could possibly be Iconic?
Possibly, and don't forget that there's 2 Pittsburgh shows coming up that with Britt Baker on the marquee.
Yes, there is. Could be an Iconic show.
Maybe one shows up on Wednesday and one shows up on Friday.
There you go. Staying in the women's division, Thunder Rose defeated, I'm assuming, the new King of Hearts, Julia Hart. That name is now trademarked by AEW, and it's the only one that makes sense to me. So the King of Hearts, Julia Hart, in her first match as an official member of the AEW roster, I'm talking about Thunder Rosa, she won with the Thunder Driver. So welcome to the show, Thunder Rosa. Now she can finally have a legitimate chance at winning the AEW Women's Championship, because you wanted to believe it. Let's see, she's not under contract. So we are going to go now. We're going to talk about tomorrow night. We're AEW Homecoming. They're going back to Jacksonville. Is that correct? Is this going to be at Daly's place?
Yes.
All right. That's what I like to see. Our Redeemer is motivated by a vengeful God and his double-jointed wife. He's probably not doing missionary position over and over again. He's probably doing some fun stuff, Miro. I can see him having fun with her. He'll pulverize Lee Johnson in a match for the TNT title. We finally get our TNT Championship match back on TV. as I mentioned earlier. Anyone want to give Lee Johnson a shot here?
Nope.
Well, his name is Big Shotty Lee.
It is.
He's going to take his shot.
Well, is it going to be on Rusev Day or not?
I believe tomorrow might be Miro Day. Not sure if it's Rusev Day or not. I'm not sure if they officially switched calendars yet.
Okay. Well, if it's Rusev Day, then it's not. Then Lee's not winning.
Okay, I will check. I know, like, you're on tomorrow morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So do the research and look us up and let us know tomorrow morning on Ryan's show.
Yeah, I'll let you know if tomorrow's Rusev Day or not. Yeah.
Christian Cage, he teamed up with Jurassic Express last week as they defeated the Hardy front office after a choke slam by Luchasaurus, followed by a frog splash by Christian Cage. The Blade then sucker punched Christian with a pair of knucks in hand after the match, and that is what we're leading into at Homecoming tomorrow night. Anyone want to give the Blade a shot? I am not.
Nope.
Nope.
Is it on Rusev Day?
Well played. Well played. We have an NWA Women's Championship #1 contenders match. Here I am thinking all week. I missed the NWA part until I heard Ryan talk about it this morning. I'm like, oh my God, Layla Hirsch. I mean, yeah, whatever. You're going to Pittsburgh, you're going to lose against Britt Baker. But if Layla Hirsch gets this shot, like, that's a big match for her to be in. So I'm like, go get it, Layla. And then I find out the NWA title match. So we're going to have Layla Hirsch and the Bunny, John DeConnie's resident Bunny. The winner gets Camille, the NWA Women's Champion, which is not an easy task. She is a strong, tall, big girl.
Yeah, and that's where I'm a little, you know, it's tough to make this call here because Camille being a big, I mean, you're going to put Camille in the ring with Layla Hirsch. I want to say Layla Hirsch is going to win this, but Jesus, you're talking about, you know, that's going to be an awkward.
This is Great Khali versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I was trying to come up with one, but that's about as good as any. But give me Layla Hirsch here, just because I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, John Smith, Jersey girl. This is big for Jersey. This is big. This is probably the biggest match of Layla's career. I know she's been in some tournaments before, but this is big.
Yeah, give me Layla Hirsch. Gotta go with the Jersey girl on this one.
And like the Ryan, the biggest thing with AEW, and I try to give AEW the legitimacy here. Normally, with All Elite Wrestling, the better wrestler wins. Like Layla Hirsch is a New Jersey State champion or whatever she won as an amateur wrestler. God love the Bunny. Nothing against the Bunny. The Bunny's going to cheat. You know, she's going to have to try to cheat to win this. But this has to have Layla Hirsch written all over us. And then does the winner get the shot? I guess my next question is, does the winner get the shot at NWA Power or Empower?
No, I don't think so. I think they have a challenger already identified for Empower, and I can't remember who it is, or if they're doing a series of matches to get there. But that's already determined. So it's not on that show. I have a question. Before I give my answer, I do have a question. Why is the Bunny John DeConnie's resident Bunny? What's the story? Is there a story there that I missed?
It's the same as like with me with Eva Marie or Zaya Brookside, and that's
okay. You don't need to explain any further, John DeConnie. I understand.
Jordan Grace and the Bunny. That's it. They're off limits. They're John DeConnie.
So as long as Travis isn't on the show, she's my Bunny.
Yeah, right. She is down the street from Travis.
She is
in Buffalo, New York. So here's the thing. I think the Bunny is going to win. And on the NWA shows, you're required to deliver excellent promos because they're a very promo-heavy show. They do light matches, like only 5-minute matches. So I think that if the Bunny is going to make a field trip to NWA to wrestle on an NWA show, she has stronger promo skills than, say, Layla Hirsch. If the match is going to happen on AEW soil,
yes,
which I don't think it will because we haven't seen Camille in AEW, then I would give the nod to Layla Hirsch. But long-winded answer, I'm picking the Bunny.
Okay. Malachi Black attacked Cody Rhodes in the back while Cody, it's not the gorilla position, but it's the go position, I think they call it. They're finally going to get at it next week. There's a lot of lightness versus darkness in this. I think Cody will be dressed in all white, representing Shawn Michaels. Malachi Black will be dressed in all black, representing The Undertaker from WrestleMania 25, I want to say. Ryan, as our senior AEW correspondent, is Cody going to do this again?
I picked Cody to take an L when he wrestled against Anthony Ogogo. But I'm going to pick him to take an L again here because I think Malachi Black they can do more with. He's much more established. He can do more than the one move that Ogogo can have. So I think they're ready to pull the trigger on him fast and get him going. So I'm going to pick Black. Plus, I think Cody Rhodes is going to go do his game show for a couple of months. So he needs the big loss here so that he can come back and avenge that loss in 2 months.
Okay, but that doesn't mean the Cody Rhodes thing is he gets the win, but then he gets his ass kicked after, and that's what he could come back from as well. So John Smith.
He lost the title to Brody Lee last year.
What's that?
He lost the title to Brody Lee last year. And then the Dark Order destroyed the whole Nightmare family. That's how that break happened last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying, he can just come back from an ass kicking. Like I said, he beat a go-go, got his ass kicked afterwards, right? I think the same thing happened to Archer, right? Didn't he get his ass kicked after that one too, but he had to get the 3. So John Smith, I know you got your happy hats huge on right now, so that's. Is he
My
gonna do
what?
this again?
Cody's booking it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cody's winning.
All right, John Connie, as we notice, Aleister Black's, I want to say it's his right eye, still has not recovered fully on an injury sustained by Buddy Murphy on SmackDown about a year ago. Is that going to come into effect?
And for some reason he took it out on Fuego del Sol last week. So give me Malachi Black in this match versus Cody Rhodes. If not, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah, you can't do this to Aleister Black. Lance Archer, exactly. Anthony Gogo's and you can't do this to freaking Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever you want to do with it. Ryan, as I said at the beginning of the show, this was a charity event. At the beginning of the segment, this was a charity event, Fight for the Fallen. Nice, wholesome matches, right? Until we got to the main event.
Yeah, the main event, as advertised, though, at least I guess you would say, there's no question about what this was going to be, and we had Nick Gage played all the hits, the light tubes, the chairs, the pizza cutter, all that stuff. Domino's doesn't want to sponsor AEW anymore because of the picture-in-picture Nick Gage slicing Jericho with a pizza cutter while the Domino's commercial is playing. Domino's got a little upset about that. I guess I can't blame them too much. I never want a Chris Jericho flavored pizza. So
no.
In any event, so they had this bloodbath. Jericho very bloody toward the end of the match, but he did manage to get a hold of Gage's light tube package, and he smashed that over the top of Gage's head, hit him with a Judas effect, got the pin, 1, 2, 3, struggling in the ring, trying to battle the exhaustion of just competing in a death match where he did a Hurricane Rana. And then MJF has the big news that he's been paying attention to every word Jericho has ever said to him. And they play the clip of Jericho invoking the name Juventud Guerrera from feud back into the old TNT days when WCW Cruiserweight division was in play and Jericho was wrestling his arch rival Juventud Guerrera. And MJF has announced that is the next labor, and it will be that Jericho has to hit a top rope maneuver like a Hurricane Rana off the top rope in order to win the match. So I'm thinking look for the Judas effect followed by an elbow smash to get the win on that match. I'll pick Jericho. I know. I'm sorry, I didn't let you set it up there.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't have a graphic for it, so it's almost. Jericho I was thinking about it. Maybe I missed the Hurricane Rana with all the other stuff that was going on in that match. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, off the top rope. Well, Jericho does but did he ever? So he does the lion salt off the middle rope. He does the jumping drop. Everything is off the middle rope with Jericho. This actually is like somewhat of a genius move by MJF, John Smith.
Yeah, of course Jericho is going to win it, but I'm not interested unless he hits a 450.
Like, what was that? Like throw a $5 bill and get 50 cents back? I don't know. John DeConnie?
Yeah, I can't follow that. Give me Jericho in the match.
I think Jericho has about as much a chance of hitting a 450 as AC Romero.
I've seen AC hit a 450. We'll talk about that Monday.
That was on the scale though. That was on the scale.
That was on the scale. I miss AC too. Where the hell's AC been? Where's AC and Larry Day? All right, so that will do it for the show. That'll do it for the segment. That'll do it for the show. Let's just run through and say hello to our friends here. We'll bring it back up here, Primetime Rundown with Joey Jarzinka, Rob DeLuca, and Roderick Strong's stunt double.
Thanks, Al. Summer Mondays are back for the Primetime Rundown as myself, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca will be coming to you with the Primetime Rundown right here on the Eastern Observer on Monday nights beginning at 7 p.m. all the way until August 30th. Make sure to join us on the following platforms.
All right, there we go. I got Stormy back up here again. He's purring. He's ready for some dinner. Tune in to the Daily Wrestling News Show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. and get your morning cup of joy with Brian and his band of merry co-hosts as they sort through all the horse manure, which is also right here on the Eastern Observer platforms. No Storm. Yeah, you can't go on the keyboard now. Sorry about that. The Body Slam Brigade's got over 4,400 subscribers to receive this weekly column. Make sure you go to minutestobelltime.com to subscribe. The Body Slam Brigade by Ryan for you for free. Speaking of cats, here we go. The Black Cats NYC. Here we go. There's their Stormy right there. Black Cats NYC. They're Stormy's favorite band. They're the official band of the Eastern Observer. Please go to all of these music outlets. You got YouTube, Deezer, Spotify. Please make sure you go here and get the Black Cats NYC, their new album, Free Cake. Oh, man, I dropped my promotion clipboard. This is probably the worst promotional set we've ever done. Also, as always, the Essential Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool and play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, your cats will like it too. Join us back here next week, episode 66. We will be back live. It is a beautiful day in New Jersey. There's no reason for my game to get canceled tonight. James Wheeler, we miss you, buddy. We will be back. Also, please make sure you join us for our SummerSlam special. Right now, scheduled for 3 o'clock until Tommy Dreamer officially announces emergence for August 21st, which will probably also be at 3 o'clock. So we probably will come on at around noon to make our picks. Our so-called experts make our picks for SummerSlam. And I want to say so-called. I should probably stop saying that because you know what? Like I said, 6 of the last 7 shows we have scored, one of us nailed it. So congratulations to John DeConnie. You got homecoming right last. So anything else before we leave? John Smith.
No, just wish me luck on this Dynasty draft. I'll update you. It should be over all 28 rounds by next week. So I'll give you guys an update on my second half of the draft.
All right. Did you ever end up getting Fitzpatrick?
I did get Fitzpatrick because I got sniped, but I wanted Troutman, the new tight end on New Orleans, because it's tight end premium scoring. They get 2 points per reception in this league. So I was hoping to get a nice young tight end. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need to just clip that out and make that like the commercial for the show.
We'll clip that out with Goldberg's kid, and then with the comment I made about mentioning Miro.
And then we get
Ryan Joy, anything from your end?
Yeah, I'm a little upset you didn't ask me about SummerSlam. You asked Gary about SummerSlam. You asked these guys about SummerSlam.
Well, I'm over here wearing your chance right now. There we go.
I'm wearing my John Cena wristband and everything, and I don't get asked about SummerSlam. So I'm going to tell you about SummerSlam. Goldberg's not winning that title.
Okay,
I hope you're right.
there's going to be a lot of wrestling fans who are hopefully in agreement with you. It's just going to be tough. You're wearing your wristbands right now. Do you think John Cena was pretty self-centered and self-absorbed on Friday, signing that contract, not giving it to Baron or Finn?
It's a little weird. But hey, it's good enough for Adam Pearce. So,
Yes.
Hey, he was the first one to challenge him anyway.
True.
Yeah,
So Finn Balor's name is there on the contract. I think with this, if John Cena beats Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, after we all pick our jaws up off the floor, I think Roman will just say, "Well, there was not an official contract."
There's got to be loopholes around that. That's just John.
Maybe you can hire Mark Sterling.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's a barista, right? I got a button my face.
Yeah.
Anything from you?
Nothing. I just hope Ryan is correct that there's no way Goldberg is winning that title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a way. I have a couple ways actually. Anyway, so that will do it for us. We will see everybody next week. Alexa Bliss, we love you, even though I know you're screwing with Eva Marie right now. We'll let you pass. We know that's all fun and games. Lily's making you do it. We're not holding that against you. John the Connie, take it home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Happy birthday to
Oh, Jesus
you.
Christ.